The Aeneid by Virgil, translated by Alan Mandelbaum. Book 11. Meanwhile Aurora rose, she left the ocean. Aeneas, anxious though he is to give his comrades rapid burial, and though his mind is much distressed by Pallas' death, first pays the gods a victor's vows beneath the morning star. He hacks the branches off a massive oak, around all sides, then plants it upon a mound of earth. This tree he dresses in glittering arms, the spoils of Chief Mezentius, a trophy meant for you, great god of war. To this Aeneas fastens helmet crest dripping with blood, the warrior's shattered shafts, the breastplate smashed and pierced through twice 6 times. Upon the left he ties the shield of brass, and hangs the ivory scabbard from the neck. Then he spurs on triumphant comrades, all the crowding company of his commanders. Men, we have done the great things, for what is left, away with fear. These are the spoils, first fruits of war, from a proud king. Here is Mezentius, made by my hands. And now our way lies toward the Latin king and walls. Prepare your weapons with good hearts, look with hope to battle, so that when the high ones let us lift our standards and march our legions out from camp, there be no fear to make us falter in our purpose, and no delay to take us by surprise. Meanwhile, let us entrust to earth our comrades' unburied bodies. This, the only glory deep Acheron can know. And then he adds, go honor with our final tribute those bright souls who with their blood have won for us this homeland. First let Pallas be sent back to the sad city of Evander, one whose courage was not wanting, whom the black day swept away and plunged in bitter death. These words Aeneas says and weeps, then turns back toward his threshold, where the lifeless body of Pallas is watched over by the old Achates. He was once the armor-bearer of King Evander in Arcadian days. Now he had come, assigned as a companion to Pallas, his beloved foster son, beneath less happy auspices. And all were gathered around the body, both the band of servants and the Trojan crowd, together with mourning Ilian women, hair disheveled as was their custom. When Aeneas entered the high doorway, they beat their breasts and raised a great groan to the stars. The royal tent was loud with lamentation. When he saw the pillowed head of Pallas, his white face, and the Ausonian spearhead's yawning wound in his smooth chest, Aeneas speaks with tears. Poor boy, when fortune came with happiness, was she so envious as to grudge me this, not let you live to see my kingdom, or return in triumph to your father's city? For this was not the promise that I gave Evander when I left with his embrace, when he sent me to win a mighty empire, when he warned me in fear that I should meet men harsh in battle and a sturdy race. And even now, beguiled by empty hopes, perhaps Evander makes his vows and heaps his gifts upon the altar stone, while we, grieving, accompany the lifeless youth who now owes nothing to the gods, although we pay him useless honors. Luckless father, you are to see your own son's funeral. Is this our coming back, the victory that we expected? This the solemn trust Evander placed in me. Yet you will not see your own son cut down by cowards' wounds, or as a father call for death because your palace had been saved disgracefully. Ausonia, what a great shield you have lost, and Iülus, what a great defender is gone. So he lamented. Then he orders them to carry off the sad corpse, and he sends 1,000 men, chosen from all the ranks, as presences at the last rites, to share a father's tears. Small consolation for so vast a grief, yet owed to poor Evander. And others quickly wrap the pliant bier of wicker work in shoots of wild arbutus and twigs of oak. They shade the high-piled couch beneath a canopy of leaves. They set the soldier high upon his rustic bed, just as a flower of gentle violet or drooping hyacinth a girl has gathered. Its brightness and its form have not yet passed, but Mother Earth no longer feeds it or supplies its strength. And then Aeneas brought twin tunics, stiff with gold and purple, which Sidonian Dido, glad in that task, had once made for him with her own hands, weaving thin gold into the web. Sadly he wraps one of these tunics around the youth, his last honor. With it Aeneas veils the hair soon to be burned. Beside it he piles up great trophies of the encounter with the Latins, in order spoils brought out in long array, then adds the horses and the lances Pallas had stripped from enemies. Aeneas had the hands of captives bound behind their backs, to send them down as offerings to the shades, to sprinkle altar flames with slaughtered blood. He has the chiefs themselves bring tree trunks dressed in Latin arms. To each trunk is attached an enemy's name. The sad Achates, worn by years, is led along, disfiguring his chest with fists, his face with nails. And as he goes, he throws himself to earth headlong. They lead out chariots bathed in Latin blood. Next Aethon, Pallas's war horse, weeping comes his trappings laid aside, his muzzle wet with heavy tears. And others carry Pallas's spear and his helmet. Turnus in his triumph has kept the other arms. The mourning band of Teucrian and Tuscan captains and Arcadians, with arms inverted, follow. When that long file of comrades had advanced, Aeneas halted. Sighing deeply, he said, "The same black fate of war calls me from this the other to other griefs. I hail you now forever, great Pallas, and forever my farewell." Aeneas said no more, but turning toward the high walls, made his way back to the camp.